Alright, alright. What's really going on? Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. Today, going to be taking a look at Cardano, ADA against USDT. Going to be taking a look at some of these key technical aspects of price action moving forward. Going to be assessing some of the pivotal areas of support and resistance I believe we're going to be interacting with in a very near future here. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Do you trade? Do you hold? Or do you let the price action unfold? What are you doing with your bag if you have one? Are you bullish on price action? Do you believe we've found support or are likely to rally back up to the, $2, almost like $2.50 there, swing high that we came from? Or are you bearish on price action? Do you believe, support has yet to be found and we have, more downside ahead of us? You think we're going to plummet toward a dollar, fail to hold a dollar? We're heading straight to zero. What are your thoughts on Cardano moving forward? Now, jumping right into it, to kind of recap price action that has interacted with this ascending trend line. Since the kind of good old COVID crash of 2020, we have price action interacting with this ascending trend line both as support and resistance over the course of this uptrend. We've been very bullish since that dip in the kind of 15th, 16th of March 2020 there. That was a very bullish dip to buy for anyone who got in at those levels. Price action, like I said, rallying above that ascending trend line for a period of months, interacting with pivotal horizontal support and resistance along the way. We have this break downward on the kind of beginning of September there, the 3rd of September of 2020. We have price action falling below that ascending trend line after bouncing off of it as potential support on the 28th of August. So since that break downward in September there, we've had a few months of price action, like rallying upward but below this ascending trend line, suggesting that that's overhead resistance that we did experience at the kind of beginning of January of this year with these kind of multiple rejections. First, the kind of 6th of January, we had this kind of rejection off of that ascending trend line as resistance to push price action toward 25 cents. Bounced off of what appears to be like 23 cents to interact with that ascending trend line as resistance again on the 17th of January, setting a higher high though relative to the previous swing that we got rejected kind of off of. Higher high, bullish in the short term. Price action got rejected though, printed a higher low, much more bullish in the short term. We eventually gained the momentum. Fundamentally, price action was bought up. We gained the momentum and velocity to plow through all that potential resistance along that ascending trend line, all the way to this very critical area of, I believe, very high technical sell pressure. Fundamentally, Cardano was very, very bullish. We've been very, on the upside, tons of gains since that COVID crash, and we've been kind of very bullish since, I believe, breaking this ascending trend line on the kind of 6th of February of 2021. And so we see price action being bought up very quickly. Tops are bought, bottoms are bought, and these rallies continue. These gains are made. These swing highs are met with what appears to be very high technical sell pressure. And so while fundamentally, tops and bottoms are being bought, I do believe there is a very high, a lot of bearish pressure and sell pressure up at these ranges, countering the very bullish fundamental buy pressure, causing this very aggressive sideways that we've had pretty much since pretty much like the 10th of February all the way until kind of right now. We have price action trading, I believe, between range as low as 94 cents. With that, that swing high, that euphoric swing high of, $2.45. But I do believe the more significant range we could be trapped in is below $1.48 and above that 94 cent level. And so price action at the moment does appear to be interacting with this key range of resistance, I believe around $1.48 down to $1.38. We have price action on the 27th and 17th of March. On the 27th of February, the 17th of March, and the 14th of April of 2021, we have price action getting rejected off of this 10-cent range of resistance. But price action was fundamentally quite bullish, so all the rejections were met with higher lows, except for the kind of like end of April there of 2021. But ultimately, support was found at this kind of lower range, except for this, slightly dramatic wick down past that range into the kind of 92 cents. Price action was overall very bullish. We bounced off of the top of this zone here, $1.07, set some very euphoric higher highs, $2.45, just to be met with a very abrupt change in momentum, a big sell-off, sending price action plummeting toward and through potential support at, I believe, this $1 and 48 cent kind of range there. Price action breaking and reaching all the way down to that lower zone did suggest that we would likely have trouble finding support at this range. If we were to found support at these kind of upper levels, we could have been far more bullish in the short term. But with this break downward of that ascending trend line, on the kind of 17th and 18th of June there. Price action, falling and bouncing off of $1.01 is, a tad bullish, but I do believe this interaction with this upper zone of $1.48 as resistance is going to be quite bearish in the short term. I do believe that could slap price action all the way back down to this kind of like around $1 there to potentially find support, hopefully at $1.08. But we could see some lows below $1 for like some more buying opportunities before the kind of uptrend continues. Now, when we consider EngineeringRobo, along with the fettuccine lines of zucchinis, bikinis, martinis, and linguinis, we can see fettuccine thick ranges here. Fibonacci line 0.5 level at $1.24 is going to be potential short-term support before the critical kind of lows here near $1. If we were to hold at the 0.5 line at $1.24, we could be a tad more bullish in the short term and suspect that we could get some more interaction with this resistance near kind of $1.44. Just above there, though, is a 0.618 line. $1.53 is going to be significant resistance as well. So we do have some significant overhead resistance present once we do find support. Price action could very well get slapped from this significant zone here and fall through the 0.5 Fibonacci line to potentially find more potential support along that 200 daily moving average. That's going to be price action will be still bullish above that moving average, although sell for is present, so we do have some very high technical sell pressure. And so say we, like I said, get slapped from this significant resistance near the kind of $1.45 roughly, we could plummet all the way through the 0.5 line, through the 200 daily moving average to the bottom of my kind of support zone here, sub $1.95 near the 0.382 Fibonacci level. And so that's a more of a kind of pivotal range that we will have to assess where price action kind of will unfold. Candles closing and opening below the 200 daily moving average is going to suggest a very high technical bearish pressure and sell pressure along the underside of that 200 daily moving average, along with buy pressure on the upper side of it, kind of thing. And so price action coming down to it to find support along it, we can be more bullish in the short term. Price action failing to hold it, we will have to assess just how bearish price action could be. Sell for still, although we are above the 200 daily. Lots going on for Cardano against USDT. But when we consider Cardano against Bitcoin, we can see a new perspective come into play. Price action looking, still quite bullish in my opinion. Price action trading between this range of, I do believe, kind of 50 to 97 Satoshi as resistance. Price action did exhaust kind of before there, around, appears to be like 50.39 Satoshi. An abrupt change in momentum, sending price action plummeting toward potential support at this 30.94 Satoshi level. Price action trading kind of between in this range, and bit of an undecided kind of manner here. Cardano still is trying to determine where its support is and where it's likely to go. But when we consider now EngineeringRobo, along with the feta zucchini lines of Lamborghinis and bikinis, we can see new perspective come into play here. We do have that sell for against the price of Bitcoin, suggesting some, a little bit of a bearish pressure coming into play. We have price action technically interacting with the 0.786 line as resistance at the moment. We could very much kind of like bounce, come back up to it, and really solidify it as resistance. And I do believe that would be significant enough to slap price action all the way down to this perhaps 0.618 Fibonacci level near 32.78 Satoshi, which would be a nice kind of higher low relative to the wick on the 19th of May of this year. And so, I mean, if we bottom out before this 30.97 Satoshi level, we can be more bullish in the perhaps midterm. Although I do believe perhaps some like short-term downside is ahead of us, and I do believe some more support is going to be found at these lower levels. Although a bottom is approaching for the kind of whole crypto market here, Bitcoin is in a very pivotal state. Although Cardano is looking a tad bearish in the short term, and perhaps some more downside might present itself. Potential support near 32.84 Satoshi. Say we get rejected off the 0.786 line at 40.53 Satoshi. A more bullish bounce target would be the 0.618. Although we have more hope at my support level near 31.01 Satoshi. But price action in a very pivotal state at the moment. We could very well, my kind of most sort of bearish extreme here would be to plow through the 0.618 line, my 30.92 support level, the 0.5 Fibonacci line at 27.30 Satoshi, all the way down to interact with this 200 daily moving average. I suspect Cardano will have to interact with that moving average against the price of Bitcoin at some point. If we stay sideways enough to bring the moving average up to us, that's a far more bullish, I believe, example of the uptrend looking to continue, although we could very much be bearish enough to get slapped all the way to it abruptly, bottom out, and kind of continue. fundamentally, I do believe we are quite bullish long term, although we are still coming out of some very aggressive sell-offs, and so perhaps some more accumulation, some more downside might be necessary for the uptrend to continue. Now, what's going on with Cardano? Price action in a pivotal state, looking a tad bearish against Bitcoin, but when we consider Bitcoin against USDT, we can see new perspective come into play here. We have price action interacting with this very pivotal 0.5 fettuccine line. This is going to be very, very crucial. We're trapped in this range as very bullish potential support at 32K and very bearish potential resistance at 34K. That's 0.5. Fibonacci level has been slapping, kicking, spitting, and punching price action for like a matter of weeks here as Bitcoin has been trying to figure out where it wants to go. Have we found a bottom? Do we have more upside ahead of us? Is there more downside ahead of us? There's so much indecision in the market, but with the fundamentals and the technicals in play, I do believe price action is still looking, quite bullish in the long term, in my opinion. Even though some very aggressive, sell pressure is present with price action below the 200 daily moving average. We have very significant resistance at 41K. Resistance at 48K, 51K. There's plenty of resistance ahead of us once we do find support, although it appears the fundamental, buy pressure for Bitcoin at these levels is still ever so high, and so I do believe a bottom is approaching rather quickly, even though there is very high technical sell pressure. We're coming out of a very euphoric, what appears to be all-time high at the moment, local top kind of thing. Many are speculating this pattern to be a tad, head and shoulders-y, if you will. Personally, I don't believe Head and Shoulders has been confirmed yet, although feel free to share your opinions and thoughts down in the comment section below where you think price action is likely to go. We have that sell for printing on the 12th of May there, suggesting some more downside. Once EngineeringRobo becomes bullish, we can be more bullish in the kind of like midterm here, and perhaps expect a bottom to unfold once these kind of buy signals come into play. Potential support at 32K, failure to hold that level if 0.5 Fibonacci level slaps us as hard as it can, which it might. It could send us plummeting through 32K all the way down to the 0.382 Fibonacci line at 27K. I could still be long-term bullish if we are finding price action at those levels. That would be a great time to buy and accumulate. We could be very much bullish enough, though. There's plenty of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Say price action starts closing below 32K. It could cause a very, abrupt break downward, plowing through the 0.382 all the way to these very jarring, spooky lows of 19K or even $18,000 per Bitcoin at the 0.236 fettuccine line. And so Bitcoin in a very pivotal state at the moment, very sideways, much consolidation, very tight range of trading that we've been trapped in here. But from the looks of it, there is plenty of room for upside for us to still be bearish in the short term, and there's plenty of room for downside and still be bullish in the long term. So there's definitely lots going on in the crypto sphere here. Let me know your thoughts on price action moving forward. Do you think we've found support? Do you think we've bottomed out? Are you accumulating in these lows? All-time highs are around the corner, or are we plummeting straight to zero? The teens, the 20Ks, these lows that we came from not too long ago in the very not so distant past here. What are your thoughts on price action kind of moving forward? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hearing my analysis. Try EngineeringRobo free with a link in the description. Subscribe here on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in, and tune in for the next one.